I have very practical parents. When I wanted a car, they said, get something practical. The Triumph TR6.
Alright, after staring at it for a couple hours and flipping it over about 50 times, I think I know what I'm going to do with it. I'll make a patch here to recreate this. So I folded a bunch of tape. It's a nice trick from Pete. Well, it's not his trick, but you know, that's where I saw it first. And I'll just try and recreate this. I think I'm going to do two pieces. I'll do this piece, and then I'm going to cut this interior support for the box and do that. Sorry about that. I always do shitty camera work and it looks like hell. So yeah, so we're going to do two pieces. One that comes along here, comes underneath, actually three. Do a little patch in here, and then we'll recreate this flange. I've still got the rusted off piece that broke out. So we're going to have to do one here, do a patch up under here, and then, can you guys see the hole right there? Over there. So we'll see. Alright, so I'm not showing me measuring because I'm trying to hold it here, but what I've done is, here's the rear section where I cut out the tail light, and I've measured from, let's see here, that bottom left corner right there to that top right corner right here, so center of your screen, right there, down to there with it on the panel, because it flexes. See how it flexes? So I want to make sure when I make my patch that that dimension stays the same, because it's going to have to, I can't pull it too tight, otherwise it won't fit back in the car nice. So I lined up the panel, and I measured it with my little guy. Alright, so I just took my tracing, and when the tracing was on there, I used my center punch, and I don't know if you can see the little dots. And then I'm going to trace it out. Hey, no squirting water. You wash the orange thingy. It's my helper today. So.
I was just washing that.
Oh, thanks, buddy. You washing the car off? Good job. I'm just going to use my trusty stump to try and get a little curve into this guy. That is my stump hammer.
Stump hammer?
Now watch out for the camera, bud.
What is a stump hammer?
Look, I made it bend.
Why?
Because I'm fixing the little white car.
Why?
It's a good question. Because it costs a lot of money to have someone else do it, and I like to do it. Right, guys? Who am I talking to? I'm talking to the camera. Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Well, why are you doing that?
Because this is the shape it used to be. I'll show you on the car. Alright guys, we're going to go look on the car. Anyway, there it is.
You're talking to the camera again.
I know, isn't that silly?
Yeah.
I'm going to make a movie, and everybody's going to watch. Alright, so I'm starting to understand why the last guy made the shitty little patch, because this is a pain in the ass. So, I'm on my second try. I already threw away the first attempt. So I'm going to try and make two patches. One that goes like this, another that sits like that, and I'm going to try and gas weld this seam and see if I can work it into shape. We shall see. This little geometry is tricky. Alright, so I gave up on 2 patches, one patch, I made 2 patches. And I'm torn between gas welding, which will make a nice malleable weld here, and I can form it, versus MIG welding, and I've wussed out and I've gone for MIG welding. I mean, some of you guys might be offended by that, but I enjoy gas welding because not enjoy it, but I like it's easier to form. But I'm just worried about putting so much heat into this. So I'll tack it and then we'll kind of progress and we'll see how it goes. Alright, well there it is taking shape. Got the curve right there. The question is whether I made that dip too much. I might take a slit out of it and squeeze it in a little. So slit it. We'll see. See how that looks. Okay, so I put the fender on the vehicle and it didn't quite fit. It had a little bit of a curve to it. So I made a slit in the patch and I'm going to sit on it and weld it, and that'll line that up. And if you're interested, you can watch. Alright, so there it is preliminarily. Some rough grinding done. So it doesn't look half bad. And I'll finish up later. I got a couple pinholes right here. What I did is I just took a hunk of my gas welding rod and laid it in there and just welded across it. And then the next piece is this piece, which is pulling back. That's the support for the lights. I'll fold that up and put that in. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. Don't call me Shirley. Beautiful full moon tonight. I'm in the garage. So I can't do it with one hand, but I got my light. When I push, this comes in a little bit. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, for fuck's sake. That's not bad, but not great. That alignment's pretty good. Once I push it, it squeezes down, but I gotta correct this gap, so I'm gonna measure. It's probably a 16th at the top, so I gotta figure out what this is. So probably 2/10. So I'll make it 2/10 and then bring it down to there, all the way across. Alright, Thursday night, so I have added in that little section and ground it down. I did that last night. And that's what it looks like vertically. Anyway, I'm kind of happy with that. I think with a little filler right here, and a couple of James Freddy's and VW Darren's phosphoric acid videos. Maybe we'll go buy some of that shit. Actually, I think I have some of that navel jelly, which I think is phosphoric acid in gel form. So, yeah, that's for contemplation. This is the piece that goes inside the light well. So it sits in there like this. So I'm going to recreate just that little part. Alright. Alright, there's the rocket science. The magic, the mojo. Alright. It's called Trace. Little $30 sheet metal brake. Pretty handy. Alright, there is the patch. I believe it's done. I'm just going to 80 grit it with a flap wheel. And, yeah, looks pretty good, if I say so myself. I was really scared to start it. When I hit the flap wheel, that edge will line up better. And I put a flange in right there. And I'll just kind of move on to the little rust patches here and over there. Alright guys, there it is. I hit it lightly with a flap wheel, but I still got a little bit more to do. And I'm going to, when I eventually hammer and dolly out all these dents, I'll come back and revisit this area. Although it's MIG welded, so I'll have to be a little bit careful here that I don't crack it. But yeah, I think it came out pretty nice. I'll turn it over here. Hold on, touch it down. Sorry, I just got back from a run. Not like a Greg Porter 10-mile out in the freezing cold run. The fat-ass Dave Marshall barely 3-mile run. But still, keeps me trying to stay in the 170s. So here's the light well repaired. So I created this flange here. I just use a what are those things called? A step drill, you know. Drilled that out, and yeah, so it came back pretty okay. So now I'm just going to go and move on to the other areas. I got a crack here. I'll repair that flange, and there is rust right there. So those are relatively minor. This should be pretty straightforward. I just got to make sure I get this right geometry. I don't know if this continues or if it's just goes square. I'll have to look at some pictures online. Alright, but that's it. So hopefully with work getting back to normal, I'll be making some more regular progress. And that's about it. Thanks, guys.
Great cars and a great deal more.